Alright, well, we've already put in all the valves, and now I'm putting on the valve spring shims. The machine shop gave me directions how many to put on each valve. According to this, my exhaust valves are going to take 0.165 inches of shims, and my intake valves are going to take 0.105 inches of shim. So I've got them almost all on there. Just got a couple left. First thing you do is you put a little motor oil on there. All these shims have little grooves in them that allow oil to get in and underneath. Otherwise they'll rub themselves raw underneath that valve spring. So we'll go ahead and put these on. Next we're going to take our valve springs. Just set the valve springs on where they go here. Next we're going to put our valve spring retainers on. Now I went ahead and cleaned all this stuff before I reused it again. So. Next thing we're going to do, I'm going to get the valve spring compressor. Go ahead and get ready to clamp down on these and put the valve keepers on. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and compress the valve spring. Got to get it on there pretty square. Take a look down there and make sure you got it lined up properly. But don't leave your face out there in front of it while you're compressing it down, because if that thing flies out, that's going to put an eye out or something. So go ahead and just clamp your little keepers right on the slot there like I showed you earlier. And just slowly let the pressure off the spring retainer. There you go. That one's installed properly. I always try to wiggle them around and just try to center them. They usually pop themselves into place anyway, but I always like to make sure everything's right. Just hold them on there. Sometimes you have to wiggle this little spring around so it'll fit in a little cup. And just release the pressure. Very simple. On a stock cylinder head, you'll have a little bit of different setup here than what I have. You have your valve spring, little oil deflector shield, which will go right on top of the valve spring. The exhaust valve will have a little rotator cap, which is actually the retainer that slips right on top of that. This will allow a little motor oil to go in there and lubricate. There's a little bearing inside and actually cool off the exhaust valve and the whole apparatus here, being that's on the exhaust valve. Your intake valve just has a similar deal to these, just a very regular flat retainer right on top. So anyway, your intake valve retainer looks like that. Your exhaust valve is the big, thick, heavy-duty one that goes on your exhaust. It's pretty important not to mix those up, especially the surface area, because when you put your heads on and